if people have questions, we'll open up the microphones and take questions now.
Mike, there's one question on the Q&A window.
Oh, great, thanks.
I can just read to you.
Okay.
The question is the 1603 tax grant ever treated as cash flow available for debt service? And will the DSCR sculpting reflect the first-year bump in cash flows from tax grant?
I could check with our tax lawyers that are on call for us and helped us with this project development. But I believe that the cash grant is not available for debt service. I'll follow up and try to post that information when we post the webinar. The next question from that was written in is, what is the best way to REX into the residential model? Let me see here. I wasn't prepared to answer that question out here. But essentially there should be production-based.
There's already production-based incentives in the model that have been there for some time.
Right. So that was Nate Blair talking, who's our SAM development lead. And sorry, let's pull up that model. So here you can see under payment incentives within the residential model, there is the opportunity to put in effective-based incentives, capacity-based incentives, or production-based incentives. So generally, SREX would fall under production-based incentives.
Correct.
Let's see what else. Where SAM 2011 can be downloaded. So if you Google NREL SAM, you will most definitely come up with the SAM page, and SAM is free to all participants. And
it's directly at www.nrel.gov/analysis/SAM.
Great, thanks. Next question is, how much cash flow and shares do the equity investors need to receive depreciation in ITC? That's a good question. I'll have to think about that. Generally, I would say it's a pretty high percentage because the depreciation ITC benefits are so large, but they have to be involved to the extent that they're getting the tax benefit allocation enough that you're taking full advantage of those benefits. Essentially, you want to minimize how much of those benefits go to the developer, because the developer often can't use them at all. And in fact, to the extent there's often 1% that goes to the developer because of tax law, then often that 1% is often wasted. That there's simply not enough tax appetite with the developer's side of the project to take advantage of even that small share of the tax benefit. I hope that answers your question. You guys were compiling utility data. How far along is that? Because we have our utility database up, right?
This is in reference to the utility rates database, then that is an ongoing project that we have, and it's called the Utility Rate Database. It sits on our openei.org framework. So you can go to openei.org and click on the utility gateway, and you will find utility rates. We have seeded the site with rates for many of the largest utilities and utilities that are instrumental in the renewable energy deployment, and we have an ongoing process to continue to add and update rates in that database, as well as get other individuals to help crowdsource that activity. So utilities themselves can upload rates and include them in the database.
So definitely appreciate everybody's help there. Is that something they can pull off of within SAM? Can they access?
Yeah, so within SAM, if you go to utility rates, not at the utility scale, but if you have a
Commercial scale, right?
right, at commercial scale, there should be utility rates. There's a Mike showing you. There's a button in the upper left that says "Search for Rates," and so you can pull up your utility and connect and see if we have any rates available for that utility.
So here, for example, you see Texas commercial rate. And
So I would click on Public Service Colorado, for example.
Public Service Colorado, okay.
The Department of Energy has a grant opportunity on the street for a private firm to assist with the rate data collection. And so you can apply to participate and help us populate this database as well. Then you can select, this is a dash C. In the lower right corner, it shows that this is a time of use rate. It has demand charges, and then you go down to the bottom, you can click down to apply the utility rate. And then the utility rates apply, and the values are shown below SAM and
I'm hungry. Or maybe he's hungry already.
Please put yourself on mute at the time, as all lines are currently open, so you can verbally ask questions.
Maybe opening it up to everybody. Are there any other workshops in person being offered for more training for SAM? Are there any SAM trainings scheduled?
We are, at the moment, we're trying to do as many webinars as possible to keep the cost down for us and for SAM participants. We do, on our SAM website, have a training webpage that talks about how you can get in-person training. We have a contractor, Paul Gittleman, that we work with, who provides groups with multi-day or smaller SAM trainings, and we do periodically here at NREL have SAM introductory trainings generally for NREL staff, but we are working to open those up more broadly.
Any other questions? You can now leave my contact information also. Chad, if you wanted to ask a question, the lines are open.
So do you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Have you guys done any research with the ITC and working on an existing project? Is there a certain amount of percentage you have to spend on it to be eligible?
No, I don't believe so.
I also have one from something you said earlier. You said ITC reduces the depreciable basis by 50% of the ITC?
That's right, yeah, and I think I didn't really delve into that.
Is that basically what, so you, well, I guess I'll just ask you, could you explain a little more on that?
Sure. So the depreciable basis is essentially the capital that can be depreciated within the project. And by taking the ITC, the law dictates that you have to reduce your depreciable basis. Let's say it's $1 million project, and all of it is depreciable. It's all capital expense. And let's say you take the 30% ITC on that project. Well, then the depreciable basis would have to be reduced by 1/2 of that 30% payment. So you would lose 15% of your depreciable value on the project, or the ability to depreciate now only 85% of the capital expenditure. Does that make sense?
Have you guys done it?
Okay, if there's any other questions, I think we're going to wrap up the webinar. Again, this webinar will be available online hopefully relatively soon, within the next week or so, so we can give people more access to this, and so they can watch it at their leisure. Mike's putting up his contact information. And again, we also have email support and Google Groups for SAM users. Those are a great place to get additional support, as well as share thoughts between and across the SAM user base. Thank you very much, and again, we will be having 2 more webinars, both tomorrow and Wednesday at the same time, on geothermal capabilities in SAM and wind capabilities in SAM. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for joining.
Thank you. Goodbye. Das ist Frau.